I've worked the night shift at Briarwood General Hospital for 9 years. I've seen patients die. I've seen miracles. I've seen addicts screaming, psych patients bite, crash victims holding on by threads. But nothing comes close to what I saw in room 3 last October. Her name was Emma Blake, 16 years old, transferred from a rural ER out near Pinedale. On paper, just another psychiatric admit. Hallucinations, violent behavior, self-harm. Doctors whispered words like delusional, catatonia, and conversion disorder. But she didn't look sick. She looked like a girl pretending to be sick.
Too still, too calm.
Like she was waiting for something. First night, she just stared at the ceiling. Didn't blink for hours. Her roommate requested a transfer by morning, sobbing something about Emma whispering in Latin while she slept. By the third night, all of us, nurses, janitors, even Dr. Mira, our no-nonsense psych attending, we knew something was wrong. Not just medical wrong. Wrong. The kind of thing you feel in your stomach, like a drop in pressure before a storm. Then she started speaking in voices. Not her voice. Voices of people who weren't there. One time it was a little boy. Another night, it was an elderly woman sobbing about her dead son. Once it was my voice, saying things I'd never said. But what scared me most wasn't the voices. It was when she finally looked me in the eye and smiled. Because in that moment, I swear to God, I saw myself inside her pupils, screaming to be let out. Emma Blake was admitted on a rainy Tuesday night. I remember because the power flickered as her gurney rolled past the nurse's station. Her chart was light, only 1 page long, but what caught my eye was the notation from the ER. Patient exhibiting non-epileptic seizures, foreign language vocalizations, and profound affective disconnection. Translation: no one knew what the hell was going on. She was thin, pale, eyes half closed, and covered in deep scratches down both arms. Her hair looked damp, though it hadn't rained in hours. And when the orderly lifted her onto the bed, she didn't resist, but her eyes opened wide and locked onto me. Just me. That first night, I volunteered to sit with her. Standard protocol for psych patients. No shoelaces, no sharp objects, 15-minute checks.
She didn't speak,
Didn't eat. Just lay there with eyes wide open. Her roommate, a sweet girl named Callie, was quiet at first, but during rounds at 3 a.m., I found her huddled in the corner. "She's not sleeping," Callie whispered. "She just stares." She said things while I was dreaming. Stuff from my past. Things I never told anyone. I checked the log. No recorded incidents. But Callie refused to go back in the room. By the second night, Emma still hadn't spoken a word. We tried communicating, asking her to blink once for yes, twice for no, but she'd just follow our hands with her eyes like a dog tracking something it couldn't touch. Then came the noises. Soft murmurs in the halls, static on the intercom. Intercom buzzes with no one on the other end. Night 3 was the turning point. I was doing midnight meds when I heard crying. Not loud, just soft sobs. The kind that hit something maternal in your gut. I followed the sound to room 3. Emma was sitting upright in bed, rocking slightly. Not crying, just humming. But the crying continued, a low, guttural moan that didn't match her lips. I stepped inside. That's when I noticed her eyes. They were rolled completely white.
No irises, no pupils.
And her mouth moved in slow, perfect sync with the crying. But the voice, it was a man's.
Deep, grieving.
I backed out and hit the staff alert button. When help came, Emma was laying down again, peaceful, like she'd never moved. The psychiatrist on call tried to explain it as dissociative identity disorder or some rare trauma reaction, but none of us bought it anymore. The staff started avoiding room 3. One nurse quit mid-shift. Another started sleeping in her car during breaks. But I couldn't stay away. I felt pulled. Not by her, exactly, but by something inside her. One night, I stood in the doorway, watching her breathe. And she said, without turning, "Your mother's necklace is in your nightstand. You haven't touched it since the funeral." I hadn't told anyone about that necklace. I hadn't seen it in years. She started saying more personal things. Not threatening, not cruel, just deeply intimate things no stranger could ever know. I asked her once, "How do you know that?" She said, calmly, "I remember being you." I didn't sleep that night. I made a mistake. I broke protocol. I was supposed to just observe, chart, administer meds, but something in me needed answers. Not just about Emma, about myself, about why I couldn't stop thinking about her eyes. That voice, the sense of recognition. So one night, during my break, I sat beside her bed and said, "If you're still in there, Emma, blink once." She didn't blink. Instead, her hand reached out and grabbed mine fast. Too fast. Her skin was ice cold, like something pulled straight from a morgue. Then she smiled. Her lips barely moved, but the words came clear. "You're not the first me." The room got quiet, and then, somehow, my voice echoed back from her mouth. "Remember the lake? Remember what you buried?" My heart almost stopped.
Because no one knew about that.
Not my family, not my closest friends. I was 13. My cousin drowned while we were camping. I never told anyone I was the last person to see him alive. That I froze. That I didn't scream for help. I staggered back. Almost fell over the bedside tray. She didn't stop. Emma started mimicking me. The way I breathe. My nervous tics. The way I blink. Then she said, "You're hollow. I could wear you." Something primal in me cracked. I ran. Straight to the restroom. Locked myself in and vomited. That was the moment I knew whatever was inside Emma wanted out. And it had picked me. Emma was discharged a week later. That was the hospital's decision, not mine. Her vitals were stable. Her speech was coherent. She hadn't had another incident in days. The staff wanted her out. They wouldn't admit it, but she'd infected the building. Buzzers went off randomly. Thermometers cracked without warning. The elevator skipped floor 3-5 times in one night. One nurse reported seeing Emma in the staff lounge at 2 a.m., smiling at nothing. Emma's room was locked the entire time. The night before she left, I sat in the hall outside her room, writing notes. I wasn't supposed to be there, but I had to be sure. At 3:06 a.m., the hallway lights flickered, and Emma opened the door without making a sound. She walked out in a hospital gown and just stood beside me. Her eyes were clear, her voice perfectly normal. She whispered, "I know how to wear you now. It's not as hard as I thought." And then she leaned in and kissed my cheek. I flinched away, tried to say something, but my throat locked up. She returned to bed and said nothing more for the rest of the night. The next morning, she was gone, discharged to a foster family out in the country. But I knew the truth. Emma didn't leave. Not really. I don't know if it was her soul, her mind, or something darker, but it latched onto me like a parasite. I started hearing whispers in my head that weren't mine. I'd catch glimpses of myself in the mirror, but blinking at the wrong time. I saw her face behind mine. Sometimes I black out. I wake up somewhere else, driving.